Hey Facebook, happy Good Friday to all my Aussie peeps. It's Good Friday for us here today. And for my US peeps, I think you're just waking up to Good Friday. I hope you guys have had an awesome day so far. I just wanted to come on and chat to you guys about a post that I put up just recently. If you guys are on here, let me know that you're here. God, there's so many of you on here already. Hey Sonia, hey Sami, hey Kelly. So, if you're on the live stream, there are some rules to my live stream, right? You guys need to let me know that you're here. You need to say hi. You need to let me know where you're from, because I love knowing who's watching me and where you're from. Hey Kel. So, this is what I wanted to chat to you guys about tonight, right? And it's all about your identity and why some people will never, ever change, right? It comes down to these three things, your beliefs, your actions, that shapes your identity. Now, this is why I wanted to chat to you guys about this, because I have coached and mentored hundreds of people, right, that have this sabotaging behavior and beliefs and mindset and things that they do every single day. And they say to me when we're in sessions, yeah, but you know what, Elisa, this is just who I am. I'm never going to be able to change. This is just who I am. I've always been this way, right? Or they're starting a journey, they're starting to achieve things, they're starting to make progress, then they fall in a heap, right? Then they stuff up. Then they turn around and say, see, I knew I couldn't change. I knew I couldn't do anything different because this has always been who I am. I've always been this way, right? And this is what I want to tell you guys. I get it, right? I get it that when we kids growing up into teenagers and into adults, we form our beliefs, we form our habits, we form our mindset, we form who we are as a person, right? Through our beliefs, through our actions, like I said earlier. And then that becomes our identity. Now there's good news and there's bad news, right? The good news is you create your identity. The bad news is you create your identity, right? So this is why I wanted to chat about this tonight, because I wanted you guys to get super clear on exactly what I'm talking about and why some people honestly never ever are going to change, because they see themselves in the same light forever, right? They forever see themselves in the same light, day in and day out. They do the same things, they make the same mistakes, they sabotage themselves in the same way, and then they're constantly going, see, but that's just who I am. I've always been this way, nothing's ever going to change. Without realizing that all along, you guys have the power, right? You have the power at any given moment to change your identity, to decide that this is not who you are going to be anymore. But because we don't think that we have that option, because we don't think that we have that choice, we just continue doing the same thing day in, day out, the same destructive behavior. And then we say to ourselves, yeah, but that's just who I am, right? If you're on a health journey, if this is resonating with you guys, let me know below, right? If you're on a weight loss journey and you want to lose weight or you want to get fit and you're eating really well, and then maybe 1 week or 1 day you stuff up. And then you say to yourself, see, I can't do this. I've always been this person. I've always been this person that can't stick to a diet. I can't eat healthy. I can't stick to the gym. I can't stick to a healthy routine. See, I've always been that person that just can't do it. And then you convince yourself that that's who you are. You create your identity through your behavior, through how you see yourself every single day. But we do it so mindlessly that we don't even realize we're sabotaging ourselves, right? We operate so mindlessly. We go through life every single day doing the same thing day in, day out, sabotaging ourselves, and then we're going, see, but this is just who I am. without actually stopping to go, right, this behavior is no longer serving me. This identity I've given myself is no longer serving me. And I can choose to change this in any given moment, at any given time. You can choose to take that power and change that identity. But it starts with you. It starts with you. You first have to become aware. You have to become consciously aware of the type of person that you are being every day, right? What are your habits? Are you someone who gets up every day and goes and exercises and eats a healthy breakfast and looks after their temple and nourishes their temple with food? Are you someone who does that every day? Or are you someone who doesn't do that at all? Right? Your actions and your beliefs, I'll say it again, are going to determine your identity, how you see yourself. So when people say to me, yeah, but Elisa, I've always been this way, right? I have just always been this way. I'm never going to be able to change. After one stuff up, I say, I call bullshit. That's not true, right? Yes, you may have always been this person. You may have always been someone who, didn't do the work or didn't finish the course or didn't stick to healthy eating, right? You may have always been this person, but you now have the ability and the choice to make a decision to say, I am no longer going to be this person. I choose to give myself a new identity. And that's it. It is that simple. So my next question to you guys is, do you find yourself doing this very thing exactly? Have you found that you've ever said this before, right? Where you're trying to achieve a goal, you're trying to achieve something, and you stuff up and you go, see, I can't do it. I've always been this person that has done this to myself. I've always been this person that has stuffed up when I get to this point. You will continue to always be this person if you continue to give yourself that identity. You need to change your language, right? It should sound something like, okay, I have been this person in the past, but I am no longer this person anymore. I choose to be someone who chooses the right thing for me, who sticks to a healthy routine, who puts in the work that I need to put in. You have a choice. Like I said, the good news is you choose your identity. The bad news is you choose your identity. So if you aren't where you want to get to, or if things aren't changing for you because you aren't changing, you need to stop with the excuse and justification that, well, this is just who I have always been. Because it's a load of BS. That might be true, but it doesn't mean you have to be that person forever. And this is something I teach my clients. I teach my clients a lot about this, right? I go really, really heavy into this topic. I help my clients create a new identity for themselves. We get down all of their beliefs. We get down all of their daily habits and their behavior. And then we start going, right, if you were this person that was achieving XYZ, what would you be doing? What would be the identity you would give yourself, right? That's who you need to start becoming. At no point did anyone ever tell you you have to stay exactly as you are. Your identity is not set in stone. But so many people, like I said before, are operating so mindlessly every single day that they actually think they can't change their identity. They actually think this is who I am and it's never going to change because I've always been this way. Stop thinking and feeling that you lack power in this area because you don't, right? You don't. You have the power when it comes to the identity you choose to give yourself. So if this is resonating with you guys, let me know below now. Leave me a comment. Where in your life, what area in your life are you doing this at the moment? Where in your life have you got a goal or you haven't quite achieved it yet and you keep hitting a wall, or you keep hitting resistance, or you just feel like you're not the person that can achieve that, and you find yourself either saying to a coach or a mentor or even to yourself, you're like, see, I can't achieve it. I've always been this person that has done that to myself. If that's you, if you've said that before, if you've felt that before, let me know. Jedra, oh, so many areas. Yeah, exactly. What about the rest of you? I can see so many of you on. I know that Jedra's not the only one, right? I know, because we've all been there. I've said it before until I became aware enough to go, hang on a second, this is just an excuse, right? This is just an excuse for not achieving or not becoming the person that I need to become. It's a really, for me, it's like a cop-out now, right? It's like a cop-out. It's like letting you off the hook so that you don't need to put in the work, so that you don't need to become who you want to become. Saying that this is just who I am, this is who I've always been, is just a cop-out. You get to choose at any given moment that this is not who you are going to know, that this is not who you're going to be any longer. So stop saying to yourself, because it's not a good enough excuse anymore, guys. You have to decide that you don't want to be this person anymore. And you can shift your identity, like I said before, through your beliefs and through your actions that you take every single day. Really, really simple example, guys. You've got someone who's 30 kilos overweight. They eat really crap, really shitty diet. They don't train. They don't do anything to look after themselves, right? That's their identity. That's who they see themselves. I am someone who doesn't eat healthy, who doesn't train, who doesn't look after my body. Then all of a sudden, they change. They put in the work. They do something different. They start eating healthy. They start going to the gym. They start getting help. Guess what? They've now changed their identity. They are now someone who looks after themselves, who goes to the gym and trains and moves their body and looks after their body. It's as simple as that, guys. And that person was able to shift that and give themselves that new identity because they believed, right, I can do this. I am someone who now looks after myself. I am someone who eats healthy and goes to the gym. Which means I am someone now who is 30 kilos less than what I was. What are their actions going to be? They're going to go to the gym. They're going to start eating healthy. What's the result? They're going to be 30 kilos lighter and a lot healthier. Therefore, they've now got a new identity, right? If this is making sense to you guys, let me know below, because I feel like this is such an important topic, right? Identity is everything. It's how you show up on a daily basis. It's how you see yourself. Yet we think that we are powerless when it comes to this topic. We think we don't have the ability or the power to change our identity, when in fact you absolutely do. And saying that this is who I've always been, it's no longer a good enough excuse, right? It just isn't. Hey Julian, good work, thank you. Who else is here? Okay, oh, my brother's online too. Hey Anthony, I don't know if he's still watching. Can't let the fear take over. Exactly. And that's what it is, right? We stay with the identity that we've given ourselves that is in fact not serving us, because it does feel uncomfortable to change, right? It does feel uncomfortable to do something different, to see ourselves as someone different. So instead of recognizing and realizing that we have the power to change, it's easier just to stay exactly how we are and to keep doing exactly what we're doing. And that's why we end up going, yeah, but this is who I've always been, so I can't change. See, this is who I've always been. It's a cop-out, guys. It's an excuse. And now when you hear yourself saying that, you're going to start to feel that as well. If you're watching this video, if it's starting to click and resonate with you, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, because when it clicked with me, it was a bit of a kick to the gut, I'll tell you that much, because I was like, wow, I can no longer use this as an excuse as to why I'm not where I want to be yet. I can't, because I have the power to change that. Lucy, what do you do when you begin to shift your identity and then your circles start resisting this change? Lucy, that is literally a whole nother live stream. But that is so common. And in short, right, in a nutshell, that is going to happen. That is inevitable, right? Because the fact of the matter is, if you are vibrating down here, right, you're at this frequency. This is where you're vibing at the moment, right? And you're doing these things, you've got these habits, you've got these beliefs, and you've got this circle around you that believe the same things. They've probably got the same habits, they probably do the same things day in, day out. And then you start to recognize that these habits and beliefs aren't serving you anymore. So what do? You start to shift. You start to change. But they stay here, right? Every time we recognize that something or someone isn't serving us anymore and we do something about it, we rise. Our vibes rise. Our energy rises, right? So the people that were once in our circle are no longer going to vibe with us anymore. And there is nothing wrong with that, right? Some of them will come with you. Some of them simply are just not meant to be on the journey with you anymore. And that's actually there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually perfectly normal, and it's fine and it's healthy, right? And the thing is, I know this is easier said than done, but we have to learn to let go of that attachment, right? It's like when we're in high school. And I know that so many of you probably felt this, right? High school, honestly, was like an eternity ago for me. But how many of us, right, when we're in high school, even in year 6, right, and we leave high school, we're devastated. We're like, I'm never going to see these people again. My world's coming to an end. I'm never going to have friends again. We honestly think that our world is crashing down. And then we don't speak to these people ever again. I don't speak to anyone from high school anymore, right? Because we move on. Our world changes. People change. We change, right? We learn different things. But the people in our lives in any given moment are there because they're meant to be there. So as hard and as hurtful as it can be sometimes to let people go that have been around for a long time, if people aren't meant to be in your life anymore and you try to keep them there, you're just going to feel not in alignment. And it doesn't mean letting them go and being horrible. It means letting them go with love and just being like, you know what? There is nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. But our paths are just going in different directions. You can still be supportive. You can still be friendly with each other. But learning to embrace that change means that you're only ever going to have people in your life that are meant to be there, right? And that's the reality of it. So, I hope this has helped. If this has helped, let me know. But I really felt an urge to do this live stream because, and if you think anyone needs to hear this, tag them in it, share it. But I just think it's so important, guys, that you understand this concept, right? That your identity right now that you have given yourself, it wasn't a signed, sealed deal, right? You weren't born and then with a piece of paper saying, this is your identity and this is who you always have to be for the rest of your life. Your identity is not set in stone. It's not something you as a person, your being, right? Who you are as a person, that is never going to change. Your temple, right? Your body, your physical appearance, that is you. That is set in stone from the moment that you're born, right? That's not going to change. But your identity is simply a mindset. Hey Mary, how you going? You're welcome, Lucy. Your identity is a mindset. That is it. It is not something that was handed to you at birth and no one said this is who you have to be for the rest of your life, and you are not allowed to be anyone else, right? Identity is a mindset. That's it. So please don't feel trapped when it comes to this. If you don't like who you're being, if you aren't achieving the goals that you need to achieve, start changing your identity. Start changing how you see yourself, who you believe you are, your own beliefs, your own habits, the actions that you take every day. That is your responsibility to change that. No one else's. And you do have the power to change that. So no more saying to yourself, this is who I've always been. See? So I can't change. I can't be that person. Of course I do this because I've always been this way. That's a load of BS, right? You have the power to change that. So you need to change that if you want to. And don't use that as an excuse to stay the same simply because it's more comfortable, right? Because if you and I really want to get honest here, we know that it's because you're just comfortable, right? You might be sabotaging yourself, but it's comfortable. It feels more uncomfortable to give yourself a different identity. Why? Because it means you've got to start showing up differently. It means you've got to start doing things that maybe you haven't done before. That's why it feels uncomfortable. But don't use it as an excuse to stay the same, because you are not going to achieve the goals you want to achieve. You are not going to do the things you want to do unless you change your identity. And until you realize that that is in your hands, you have the power to change that, you are always going to stay the same. And that's why people don't change. And why some people, I hate to say it, are never going to change. Because they will forever see themselves as this person and continue to tell themselves, well, this is who I've always been, so I can't change, right? If this has resonated with you, let me know below. If you've got any questions around this, let me know. Thank you for joining me though. I've absolutely loved chatting to you guys as always, and I hope you guys have had an epic Good Friday and enjoy the rest of your Easter long weekend, whatever you're doing. I'll speak to you guys soon. Much love. Bye.